Get naked. I got Henny, are you trying to get wasted? If you can handle, come take it. I know that your friends like me and you hate it. Babe, they can look, not touch and taste it. Only you, and me. Homebody, I don't like party, but we can party like we at Carney. First day, throw it back, palm me. Only you, and me. Let's do body on body. She don't need honey, she already on me. If you bring your girls, and I bring my army. She bad, come I like this. Cowgirl, now she wanna ride it. Face car valid and she got nice lips. Innocent and a freak, that's my type shit. 10 out of 10, yeah, that's my bitch. You feel like TikTok like this. I know what you're on, don't try hide it. I get move your waist and wine like this. She bad, come I like this. Cowgirl, now she wanna ride it. Face car valid and she got nice lips. Innocent and a freak, that's my type shit. 10 out of 10, yeah, that's my bitch. You feel like TikTok like this. I know what you're on, don't try hide it. I get move your waist and wine like this. She bad, come I like this. Cowgirl, now she wanna ride it. Face car valid and she got
hello.
Innocent and a freak, that's my type shit. 10 out of 10, yeah, that's my bitch. You feel like TikTok like this. I know what you're on, don't try hide it. I get move your waist and wine like this. Face car valid and her body come perfect. I can be patient if it's worth it. If you wanna Birkin, then earn it. Miss, we can make fire like furnace. You pull up on.
Alright, enough of that. Enough of that ghetto jungle music. Ghetto music. Ghetto music. Wow, only an hour and 12 minutes? African Americans, feeling of my body's on mine. Feel it coming down all the fucking time. Show the nigga what good. Show that nigga what's hood and hold nothing back and give them what they asked. What they asked for. Oh, nothing back. Alright. I'm going to play it in real time. 1-to-1. I would like to fast forward through it, but I'm going to take it as it comes. But there will be frequent pausing. I can tell you that much.
I sense suffering here, Spirit. Do you need help?
Ember Labs.
Spirit guide?
Asian woman with a staff.
We've had one of your kind in Cosmora. I'm glad you're here. That temple has been sealed as long as I can remember. Dangerous corruption was locked inside, along with the secrets of forgotten practice.
Oh god, it's another fucking platforming game. You know, the more that we keep making Ico-likes, for this game being Kenna Scars of Cosmora, the more I'm more interested in seeing somebody come up with something that is not female protagonist-led platforming game with fun, cute animal companion. Because it's just more of the same. We just got done talking about this. The industry isn't producing anything different. That's boring. Yuck. Worst, it's one part platforming, one part combat play. Oh my god. So it's not just a platformer. It's a fucking God of War like. That should send chills up your spine. But no, it is unironically a God of War-like. And I don't mean a hack and slash. I mean, it is one of the movie game immersive sim-like emotional imperative titles. They want a breath-alike. This is a breath-alike. This is a breath-alike that wants to be a closed world sim that has the feeling of the modern God of War, Dad of War video games, where it's probably got a combat list and a movement list and a tech list of upgrader-like trees of combat, allowing them to interact in gameplay. It's the exact same shit as South of Midnight. And it looks boring. It looks so bad, it looks so boring. Certainly, it's probably more engaging than South of Midnight, but it's still boring.
Spirit guides here once used alchemy to cleanse corruption. Maybe you can do the same.
And for the fact of the matter that the small little wolf that grows into a steer, as she then gets an upgrade that rebinds the parts of her staff into this multitude of integral combat, my point is proven. It is, in fact, am I allowed to say a South of Midnight-like? It is a South of Midnight-like. It's a South of Midnight-like. No, I shouldn't have said the bad of God of War games, because I said it to be provocative, while having a point.
Fear will bind you, gripping to the present, which must always pass.
You must not be afraid. The future marches forward type shit. Come on, bro. Inspirational content. Can we get back to it? Tearjerker content is boring, man.
Regret will bind you. Longing for the past you cannot change. Love will bind you. Yearning for a future you will not see. Unbound, may you depart in peace.
Boring. 2026, but no release date. And do we have a trailer? Do we have a demo up? Anything? Anything at all?
Hey everyone, I'm Josh and this is my brother Mike. We hope you enjoyed that first look at our next game, Kena, Scars of Cosmora.
I did not enjoy that. I do not enjoy your faces. I do not enjoy your bald head. You make me disgusted. You look like a darker Johnny Sins. You look like Johnny Sins doing a cosplay of a black man. And any second, a porn star is going to walk into the room. And all of a sudden, the music can start playing.
After the amazing response to Kena Bridge of Spirits in 2021, the team was excited to take on the challenge of creating something even bigger and better this time around.
It took you 5 years to make a sequel game? For a game that I never even heard of? Hello?
Our partnership with PlayStation Studios has empowered us to expand our scope.
Is that what you call it? A partnership? Okay. A partnership.
Still staying true to what made the first game special. Since her adventure in Bridge of Spirits, Kena has grown into an older, more experienced spirit guide. Her reputation now precedes her. She comes to a new land called Cosmora, home to multiple distinct communities. On this adventure, Kena discovers a spirit guide's role in helping living people, not only those who have passed away. With PlayStation Studios support, we're building on everything that fans loved about the first game. Deeper, more dynamic combat, epic boss battles, a larger, richer world, and a...
You know, these are words that people like to say, but let me just speak briefly. When you make God of War likes, when you make South of Midnight likes, when you make this weird fusion of immersive combat sim and immersive puzzle platformer and immersive movie game, what you're really saying when you say these things is we now have more things that lead to forced cutscenes and glory kills than this side of Doom the Dark Ages and the Doom reboot franchise. Because that's all I saw, bro. Like, you're not Devil May Cry, so you can't call your content a hack-and-slash character action game, because it's not. Certainly, it's going to be more inventive and more diversive than what you'll find in this kind of slop they're making over there under the Microsoft brand. But, my nigga, that shit seemed unappealing to me. And maybe I'm not the target audience, but I beg of you, please, industry people, hear my plea. Please make it look fun and engaging. Make it actually look like, for the people that can engage in the mechanics, that they will engage in the mechanics. Because certainly they're going to get bored of the content. It's going to be like people who don't like playing JRPGs. They're going to try to mash X through the dialogue to get to the part that they actually like, which is the combat. But give somebody something that can be for anybody who's willing to attach themselves to it. Then it will grow. Then it will grow. Otherwise, this is what you get. That's just not appealing, bro. It's just not appealing. It's very bland.
Of course, our charming spirit companions. Kena, Scars of Cosmore releases on PlayStation 5 and PC. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Still no date on when it's supposed to come out, just 2026, so I'm going to predict that it's a Q3 release. What we got next? Ghost of Yotei Legends. Okay. Technically, that's cheating for me.
Long ago, in the wilds of Esau, demons terrorized the land and subjugated its people. They were known as the Spider, the Oni, the Kitsune, and the Snake. Many fought back. Many were cut down.
So what I'm getting here is that you looked over at what they did inside of Dark Souls and inside of Elden Ring, and you said, "Lord, I saw what you did for those weebs. Now I'm looking for you to ask you to do this for me, because this smells like Night Rain."
Nothing can stop a true warrior from vengeance, not even death.
Ghost of Yotei, Wildflower, Cherry Firebomb. You literally could have called it something like that, okay? Ghost of Yotei, Cherry Flower Bomb. Something Flower Ninjutsu Tool Combat Spell. Would have been the flow name for the name. Because I don't think Ghost of Yotei Legends kind of rolls off the tongue the way you would have imagined it. But it's literally just Ghost of Night Rain. 100% truly. Hi, Grace. I have instituted a PNG because I am too lazy to turn on my webcam because I'm tired of it glitching and cutting out all the time. I got one for this, and then I got one for Helldivers, and I'm making more of them as they come along. There will be many faces of Carl. Many faces of Carl. Anyways, turning Ghost of Yotei into a Night Rain experience with up to 4 players and 4 classes. Here's the problem. You are very clearly pivoting from making a third game with an even more queer lead protagonist and character actor to portray and be said character. Okay? That's what it looks like to me when you tell me there's a Ghost of Yotei Legends game. This is clearly meant to hold people's attention and to keep them inside the Ghost of franchise so that you can come up with whatever your next title is. Is it bad that you do this? No. But is it very clear after that very bad commercial review, Pan, that has to do with Erika Ishii's performance? Yes, this is very much a pivot. This is very much a pivot. This is very much a pivot. It's very obvious to pivot because you could have sold this as something in the Ghost of franchise that acts as a bridge between the Legends of Tsushima and the Legends of Yotei. But you chose Ghost of Yotei Legends. Also that you could talk about the Yotei 6. But last I checked, there was 4 characters on that screen. So, 4 bosses, 4 player characters, but they're called the Yotei 6 in the story? I'm confused. Is there 2 people I'm missing? Certainly there must be. But at least... Oh, that's nice. But at least, you all give them a date. March 10th. They've got half of a month and another week and 3 days in which to play your video game. Probably less time than that. Plus, it's free DLC that they'll get for Ghost of Yotei owners. But more than likely, that just means free cosmetics for people who have saved data and save files for Ghost of Yotei. And then Death Stranding 2 on the beach PC. Hooray! The PC port.
I think we'll come out on top, Sam. You?
For me. I can't wait to find out.
I think... Goddamn it. Freeze, goddamn you. I think it's very hilarious that unlocked frame rate during gameplay, but a compatible PC and graphics card required because cinematics are always locked to 60 FPS, is a sign that graphical fidelity is something we need to clearly step away from when it comes to the content. The original game of Ghost of Tsushima had a Legends mode. Was that content in the game as a paid DLC, or was it unlocked upon completing the game? This is a very important answer. Because I can be willing to say, I have not played Ghost of Tsushima. I have not played Ghost of Yotei. Because I had no interest in playing either, and I did not have a Smash JT opinion about it. Free update a few months later. So they've already failed because they are releasing this as a singular game, separate from Ghost of Yotei. So they already fucked up. That's not a lot of goodwill. That's like saying the entire idea of the Bloody Palace, the arena mode, or the Repertorium, which the Repertorium is probably closer to the introduction with this. That's like saying DMC's Bloody Arena, Bloody Palace, was supposed to be something that should have been nickeled and dimed into the release of every single video game that had one, because of it being of an interest to elongate the playtime of every entry in the Devil May Cry franchise, with the exception of D lowercase MC, which I actually believe they did include in that. It's just that that game's combo system was really, really bad compared to every other DMC. However, to put this in the context of what was added to, comparing it to the Dark Ages, even with the context of the Dark Ages being a prequel to all of Doom and Doom Eternal, a free update came months later, even given proper updates, separate from the campaign DLC that was sold alongside its Deluxe Edition, versus two games, one being the game itself, and then the other being a game that is purchased as a separate standalone title from the title it's supposed to be bundled with, since the original version came as an additional mode, added months after the game's launch date, to elongate its play tower and its play history. Very clearly ripping off of an industry competitor in the form of Night Rain. That sounds like nickel and diming, and unfortunately putting the consequences and the benefit costs on the consumer. That makes it very much a no-go already. Because how much are you going to charge them for that? $20? $30? $40? It's not worth $60. It's not worth $50. But they're going to try to get at least $70. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. Because it's going to be a question of how much is that DLC. What is the DLC? Is it an NFT? Is it a customizable? And can you price it to something above the price point of most stuff? Holla if you hear me. I think it's garbage. It's probably not going to be very good. The gameplay will be meh. It'll be like Night Rain. I don't think it's a very good idea the way they're putting it out. Now back to the shit about Death Stranding. I think it's funny that people are concerned with graphical fidelity. Mind you, it's very clear that Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2 are great games. Kojima's done it again! He got French and white women to show they toesy woesies and to wiggle that shit for the 99 and 2000s. He even got Lea Seydoux to be in it. But, I beg of you, please just release these games at the same time on these multi-tier consoles. It should not have been released as an exclusive, only for it to finally get its renegotiation contract so it could be on PC. Because at that point, you're trying to sell the game not based on the fact that it has to actually prove itself in the marketplace, but on the fact that it's made all of this money or has been given all of these awards that then get sold as a pedigree farm. I don't like pedigree farms. It insists that I'm going to buy your game because you tell me I should. And I don't think I should. You should convince me. And I'm not convinced. Moving forward. Ultra widescreen support. You mean something it's supposed to already have? Something that it should already have. As a part of the gameplay. Because technology has so far since moved past the point where it's something that's like, listen, it's an extra feature, don't expect it. No, it should come with it. The same way it should come on 60 frames. Uncapped frames during content, whatever. 60 frames, up to 16 frames. Up to 60 frames during movies. And cutscenes, whatever. But come on. Basic shit. That's not a selling point. DualSense controller support. Again, this is not a selling point. You should have these things already. If I can use an Xbox One controller and it has rumble support, then I expect DualSense controller support the same way across the bar. If it's being used on PC, should I be wanting to use it as a PlayStation owner? Now, the people who would be buying a game twice just to use their DualShock, that's wild. But for the users that would have bought the game on their PlayStation, but they said, fuck it, I can have a better experience on my PC, here's your sign. Upscaling and frame generation. Upscaling, fine. Frame generation, that means AI manipulation in the content. If it fucks with the game, don't fucking put it there. If you can do it without it, alright, have fun. I don't care.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Sony Interactive from Bad Robot.
I'm Mike Booth from Bad.
Hello, Mike Booth. Hello, J.J. Abrams. What do you have for us this time about 4-Loop?
Robot Games, game director of 4-Loop. As a game designer, a core goal of mine has always been to make game experiences that offer interesting surprises and unpredictable moments that never get old. The result is 4-Loop, an emergent, challenging, 4-player combat sandbox where you and your friends succeed through cooperation and improvisation, and where no two runs are ever the same.
Pause. Otherwise known as, imagine if we took the core concept behind a game like Bullet Loop, but we added that to the core experience of a sandbox environment that, rather than being one of those games that are made in the tone of, or in the slice of, or in the font of another franchise title, what if we created an infinite regenerative experience that's like a roguelike, but we don't use the roguelike name so that you forget the fact that you're playing a roguelike, which allows us to sell you on the repeatable infinite loop concept so you and your friends can faff around and faff around endlessly in a 4-player environment that still requires you, for online gameplay, to use PlayStation Plus.
At the heart of 4-Loop is a probability map, which combines alien technology and human ingenuity to plot your best path forward to
My nigga, why are you using extra words? This is a fucking roguelike map. You've got a beginning cluster, you've got a mid-game cluster, you've got the point where you clearly have to fight against the boss. It is a fucking roguelike, my guy. It is a roguelike.
defeat the invaders. Each node represents a different mission with its own risks, rewards, and surprises. Everyone votes to choose the next mission. Once you've chosen a node on the probability map, your team will teleport into the mission. You may have to collect mission-critical resources, or even rescue survivors that can offer cool upgrades for your gear, all while trying to avoid the alien forces constantly sending drop pods and kill bots to stop them. We've worked hard to ensure that there are tons of items to choose from.
All that really means is that there's going to be multiple augments, and so they will be spending a lot of time trying to find broken builds. That's okay. I mean, hell, you guys are going to be competing against Rogue Core. So, all of the people who are going to be playing Deep Lock Galactic and whatever the fuck comes out at those times, the same way they're going to be doing this inside of Helldivers and whatever the fuck else you're going to be competing against for something that's going to be one half between drop in, drop out player co-op, which I doubt it will have, and Lord forbid the word, friend slop. You're going to have a lot of augments, you're going to have a lot of potential, you're going to have a lot of guns and a lot of different gun types and augments to bullets and weapon variety that will create infinite replayability. But that just sounds exhausting. Like right now, a game in the marketplace that had already been released by PlayStack, Voidbreaker, that game already does that and more, while also still being a movement shooter that isn't transcoded. But hey, you're allowed to break it into the marketplace. What do you have to show us?
And a lot of strange creatures and mysterious things to encounter. For example, this weird alien plant is called a blink root, where you can collect a blink berry, which will teleport anyone who touches it to a random, distant location. All the various enemies, weapons, items, and mission objectives are all designed to interact with each other in dynamic ways that create emergent gameplay and endless, replayable chaos. That means your decisions really matter, and creativity and improvisation are key. We really want players to try things and think outside the box, like hacking an alien terminal to provide intel to the rest of the team, or being bombarded by killbot drop pods, or barely escaping with your life. And if you do die, don't worry. So long as one of you makes it back to home base, you'll be reprinted and ready to try again. The home base is a place for your team to readjust their strategy, evolve your loadout, and choose rewards from an increasing array of powerful gear and upgrades. Each act of the probability map culminates in one of multiple boss battles. This is the Scanner Boss, a huge geologic surveyor.
Scanner Boss. Scanner Boss. This is the scanner boss. We've seen ways of designing this game so that you can never expect the same thing once. But in each act, as a part of the alien invasion, you have to face different forms of the many wardens and enforcers that represent the will of the invasion armada and how you must face them. This is the geological overseer. This is the Rubik's Cube. This is the blank blank. All the names that you could have come up with for this enemy. And you tell me the best you could come up with for your boss's name was the Scanner Boss. Not the Father Box, not the Mother Box, not the multi-universal dimensional M-U, welcome back, Snitzel. M-U, multi-universal dimensional travel iteration controller. The multi-C. For some dumbass acronym like that. You're telling me the best that you guys could have come up with was the Scanner Boss. That's gay. I'm sorry. That's lame. That's so lame. Those maps look small yet too big. They look like they don't have enough content. And despite the Bulletstorm-like idea where you want people to take combinations and think outside the box, I can almost bet you the most efficient and the best thing to do is just do the same thing over and over again.
That scans for flux deposits to harvest. Its scan fields are very lethal, creating a dynamic obstacle course of lasers to avoid while attempting to destroy the boss itself.
Oh wow, that sounds so fucking lame. Hey guys, we have to do fucking laser dodging. Gotta perfectly walk through the lasers so that we don't kill ourselves. Oh ho 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 ho.
Because the scanner's body rotates like a 3D puzzle, you want to
Bro, it's a Rubik's Cube. Call it a Rubik's Cube.
spread out and attack it from all sides. All, of course, while avoiding the slow-moving, lethal laser grids. Our goal here is to create something new, where every run has you yelling and laughing and saying, "I can't believe that just happened."
But that's not what I'm going to be saying, okay? I am an ARPG player. What you just showed me bored the shit out of me. It bored the shit out of me, bro. I'm open to what you're trying to sell me. You want to make something new. However, I implore you, instead of making something new, why don't you make something fun? Why don't you make something fun? Because of the way that it engages and interacts. How about the boss has a dangerous, lethal scanning laser grid, but you and your team can find ways to exploit that grid? What if I use the boss as a part of the environment, as a way to clear zones and missions around me and other players, right? Because first off, having 4 human-sized people fighting a technological object like that is retarded. Okay, I'm going to come up with a concept. First, I'm going to lay down on my bed with my back on the bed towards the ceiling. And I'm going to meditate for like a half second about this idea. And I'm just going to say what comes to me while I'm laying in my bed. Alright? We have a Galacticube box. The boss uses an infinite scanning grid. You can't directly fight the boss, but you can disable its protective protocol and trick the forces into attacking the cube for you. Or, you've got a giant boss enemy in the area. It has a protective overshield, which nullifies all damage, but it is not immune to its own scanning lasers. And you can use your weapons, despite the fact that it doesn't do damage, to rotate the sections of the lasers controlled by the cube, and make the cube not only hurt your enemies, but hurt itself. All these ideas and more that I just came up with off the top of my fucking head, these are ways to spruce up the content. You don't have to tell us and show us, but you're not showing us, not really. Alas, and alack. I give you pearls before swine. No matter what you could have done here, Rubik's Cube, a boss, is not very insightful. Okay? I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. It's not inventive. It's not insightful. Alright. Just fucking coping there for a second about how bad the idea was. I can promise you, if that idea was put inside of any of the ARPGs I played, it would have been much fucking cooler, dude.
We're currently in pre-beta, so there's still plenty of polish to come.
You hear that, Igord? Say it again!
Can't believe that just happened. We're currently in pre-beta, so there's still plenty of polish to come.
It was that easy the entire time, you fucks. It was that easy the entire time! Thank you, Mike Boone, and Mike Boone's soul patch on the top of his head where his bald currently exists.
And we need players like you to join us in upcoming playtests.
And they even invite you to the playtest, instead of telling you that you're dumb chuds for not liking the way the game works. Oh my god, would you like your dick sucked? I suck a mean dick, sir.
Your feedback will be invaluable in helping us make this game truly great.
Invaluable in making something truly great. Make For Loop great. There is no again, just make For Loop great.
We can't wait for you to play it for yourselves. Now, go and fail to save the world.
I can promise you, Mike, that's not going to become fetch. But whatever, For Loop, your logo involves the Infinity Syndrome. However, it looks like a Technicolor logo that is out of phase and out of sync. It makes my eyes hurt a little bit. Yep, makes my eyes hurt a little bit. Change the logo. Make it better. Make it less like a barcode. Just stick with the idea of the giant 4 and then the loop symbol, and then you're good. Yeah, like that. It very much reeks of not very good. But, you know, it could be fun. It's a fun time that requires little to no setup. It's definitely one of those games that people are looking for in this market field. Because the question and the problem of the day is, how do I get people to play my game? And the answer is, they have to get very quickly set up. Something that's very clear to me, as we have started the tradition of gaming night, and having instituted a second gaming night, is that it takes a very long time getting people onboarded to play a game. You heard what I said, Chalmers. I said I suck a mean dick. It takes a very long time to get a person on to a game. It takes a long time to get a person onboarded. Okay? Let's use Eternal Return for an example. The first time any of you download that game, you're going to download the game, you're going to start your account, you're going to name your account, you're going to hopefully go to the tutorial and get the 3 free character vouchers, and you're going to go through the all-new, all-updated tutorial that's going to take you through the actual flow state of a regular match of Eternal Return. Then, You're going to be playing with us inside of Lone Wolf. And then eventually, once we have enough of you to run a 3-on-3 tournament, you're going to be running 3-on-3s against each other. And then, once there's enough time that I believe you had enough chances to learn the game, both in individual and in 3-on-3, I'm going to start putting money on the table. $25 Steam voucher cards for the people who are able to win a round-robin tournament. Period. Normally, I would have kept that a secret, but I was already planning to do that anyways. And then, once people have gotten to the point where they're regulars and they're calling in and playing in to be a part of these tournaments, the same way that Dimitri has people playing Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch and other such shit, when another person onboards, they're going to be like, hey bro, what the fuck do I do? And it's just as simple at that point, despite being hard. Because it's always hard to sell the game the first time. The problem here, however, most games try to do this thing where the onboarding is simple, but the actual learning is hard. I would rather onboarding be simple and the learning be simple, but it takes time to master it. That's what things like Marvel Rivals does. That's what things like Eternal Return does. The game is not that complex. It's just a battle royale. You don't need to worry about fighting for a tower. You don't have to learn the laning phase of League of Legends. You just kill people. Whether you figure out your character faster or not is not important. You're throwing hands. You're throwing hands at Eternal Return and doing rounds just as much as you'd be throwing hands at Balatro. However, things like 4-loop are supposed to be fast to get up line and ongoing. You get 4 people online. Hey, bro, we're going to play 4-loop. You get 4 people online. Hey, bro, we're going to play an SMP of Don't Starve together. You get 4 people online. Hey, bro, we're going to play Marvel Rivals. Hey, bro, we're going to get 4 people online. Hey, bro, we're going to play Helldivers 2. But the problem here is that people have to be onboarded, and then they have to gain skill. And then they have to gain advantage time. To put that in a different perspective, rather than a game where everybody starts from zero, you're getting people to join a game where they have an account career. You get a new person to play Final Fantasy XIV. They're a new character. They're starting all the way back in A Realm Reborn. You're all the way at the newest DLC, Endwalker. You try to rush them through that content, they're not going to be able to grasp that game. Because you can't onboard them faster. Buying level boosts would rob them of very necessary quality game time. And thus the loop goes. You can even end up doing it with things like Marvel Rivals. Because you want to get them to a point where they can play at a, quote, higher level. Many people say, but I'm just fucking around, but no, you're not. Because if you were just fucking around, you'd easily jump into anything, just like over everything. But there is a specific desire of trying to learn something new. You want to be competent. You're not just throwing hands just to throw hands, you're being competent. And games of that design where you can jump in and get comfortable don't really exist very well. Because it requires you to put your trust in the process. And people don't want to do that because if they don't immediately succeed at it, they say game's bad, game sucks. Time immemorial. In order to truly understand the game, you have to get in touch with the game within the game. If you have to get in touch with the game in the game after 3 hours of gameplay, that's not the same thing as getting within a game that is very surface level complex within 20 minutes, 60 minutes, an hour and a half. Get what I'm saying? It could be shit. It could be great. But what it hasn't shown me is the game within a game. Once I see the game within a game, then we'll know whether or not 4-loop will stand the test of time. Just like anything else, like Back 4 Blood, or Redfall, or any of that other shit. And now for Mega Man, but it's also Bioshock.
What's this?
That's the Earth.
Also known as Single Father Simulator. Pragmata.
You really can make everything with lunafilament, huh? Looks a bit like New York.
Is that a place lives on Earth?
Can't believe we haven't found any survivors.
I haven't seen anyone besides you since leaving the vault.
All alone, huh? I know the feeling.
Hey, Hugh. What were you like as a kid?
When I was young, I was in an orphanage. I was a lot like you. I had a few bumps along the way. But I had someone looking out for me. And now it's your turn.
Removal time exceeding estimates. Deploying reinforcements.
What in the...
You see that? It was that easy, boys. You tell them the date that it's coming. It's coming in April. April 24th. End of the fucking month. But they've got a gameplay demo now. It's almost like when I said this the last time I said it, it was still true and right. Based and Carl build.
That's 6 now.
Is this the fucking, No, it's not. I know what it is because it showed the title in the bottom, but no. I was about to ask if this was supposed to be another detective game, and technically it is.
6 survivors of Raccoon City, all dead from the same thing.
Yeah, that's not good. Victor purchased a building after Umbrella went under. The Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center.
You okay? What is Victor wrong with you?
What do you mean?
He grabbed you for a reason. Did you find anything on Opus?
Not yet. Nothing on the servers of the CIA or the Pentagon.
You are an ignorant fool.
Leon, we're running out of time.
Why me?
The team has settled on a person of interest. A former T-virus researcher.
Because my master made you who you are.
Raccoon City was where it all began for me.
I'm coming with you.
We can talk. What do you want to know?
I don't want any more regrets. Whatever it takes, count me in.
It's been a while since you've been back there.
Yeah.
February 27th, 2026. It's so hard to believe that it's that soon and it's that close, but it feels like it's not fast enough. It's debatable. I'm not exactly a fan of the Resident Evil franchise, but I understand its magnitude. However, for me, all of these games are blending together and they're starting to look like the remakes and they're starting to look like the updated titles all at the same time. But it's fine. It's whatever. It's not Mega Mycelium. I'm fine with it.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Benson.
And I'm Sid Schumann. We're back with...
Your name and your face and your bubblegum pink lipstick betray your body. Lord, those glasses are fucking ugly.
with a new batch of games on their way to PS5.
But before we begin, we wanted to highlight the upcoming release dates for both Pragmata and Resident Evil Requiem from Capcom. Both are coming soon to PS5 with support for PS5 Pro.
Now, let's return to the dark world of Nosgoth with an announcement for fans of Legacy of...
I already know what it is. It's an update for the next round, which would be an update for making a new video game, which is going to involve all of the original voice actors except for Tony J. Rest in peace, Tony J. And a remaster/remake update under the hood edition for Defiance.
2003's Legacy of Kain Defiance is being remastered by Crystal Dynamics and will be available to pre-order today. The final chapter in the Soul Reaver saga brings players into the conflict between the vampire Kain and his betrayed lieutenant, Raziel. This remaster boasts updated HD graphics, a new third-person camera, and wayfinding level maps, as well as bonus features like character skins.
Now, what do you have to tell me?
Lost levels, deep lore, photo mode, and more.
I think that it's really bad the way that you're saying this and acting like this is just normal. Okay, let's go back from the beginning. Boom, 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 boom. The final chapter brings the Soul Reaver saga into the player conflict between Kain and Raziel, which should be pronounced as Kain and Raziel. Also, why are you saying this and not Simon Templeton? Simon! Simon! What's that a callback to? Malik! Malik! Call your dogs! Anyways. Why aren't the voice actors presenting the game? Did you miss DOA? I don't know if you missed DOA. This event already happened on the 14th. I'm the one, on the 12th. I'm the one catching up for my own interests. Yes, I do remember we were supposed to have a Rose arc. Again, why aren't the voice actors presenting this update? The fuck? Botched opportunity. Botched opportunity. But anyways, Kain Raziel.
To the conflict between the vampire Kain and his betrayed lieutenant, Raziel.
That is wrong. At this point in the saga, it is no longer about a blood feud for revenge from Raziel, and it was no longer about the setup of what would be events that would happen in the future for Kain. This is the culmination of a timeline of events from Kain, the time streamer, or excuse me, the timekeeper Mobius. No, time streamer Mobius. Raziel and the involvement of the Elder God that is keeping him bound to him in his service as a Soul Reaver. To feed the wheel. This is the final story that is at the climax of the reveal of something that was brought about at the end of the second Soul Reaver, which was the inclusion of knowledge brought together by the second Blood Omen, which was the involvement of the Hilden Lord, and the very big ball of timey-wimey bullshit that is the constant aberration of a fucked up paradoxical timeline, as is the case with this series. Because if you think the fucking lore and the backstory of Kingdom Hearts is confusing, nigga, let me tell you about the original fucking movie game and its fucked up timeline. Ever since Blood Omen.
To the conflict between the vampire Kain and his betrayed lieutenant, Raziel.
Why are you using cutscenes that come from various different games? It is so confusing how you're doing that. You're acting like this is like an additional sequel in the long line of things. Like this is the third game in the middle. No, this is the last game of an entire saga.
This remaster boasts updated HD graphics,
which look like dog shit and don't put that much difference. Here's the original graphics.
This remaster boasts updated.
Here's the graphics that you're trying to put in. They don't look better.
HD graphics, a new third-person camera.
We didn't need that. The only time you really had to have that was for combat. And it wasn't really that much of a problem for this era of the gameplay. But hey, to each his own.
And wayfinding level maps.
Also known as, hello fellow new players, we think you're gonna get lost. So here's the ability to actually find your way through the map, because we've updated the map system. Is that a bad thing? No. It's actually a good thing. But it very much says, hello fellow tourists.
As well as bonus features like character skins.
Which you don't need, but whatever. I think it's important because, you know, here you have an example of the original Blood Omen Kane skin, or what I have to assume is an extrapolation of his Blood Omen skin.
Now, what do you have to tell?
Versus whatever the fuck that shit is. Goddamn cosplay ass bullshit out of goddamn nowhere.
Lost levels.
That's interesting, and that's interesting, because then you're actually showing me things that come from gameplay production. And that's definitely something you should have in a remaster. Period.
Explore photo mode.
Do you need a photo mode? No, I don't think you need a photo mode. You just wanted a photo mode, but that's alright.
And more. The digital deluxe version of the game includes promotional comics and a playable demo of Dark Prophecy, the unreleased sequel to Defiance.
Yes, because that's definitely something we needed. Now, the comic book art, the comic book promotional material, that's basically the equivalent of the DLC shit that you had to put in and was included in Final Fantasy X-10-2, which is actually good. More content, more quality, it is what it is. Do not delist the original games. No matter what the fuck we're talking about here, do not delist the original games. But that's exactly what you fuckers are about to do. Especially on Steam. Because that's what you did to the original games. Now, I own the originals, and now I own the remasters. But, do not delist the originals.
Given the choice, whether to rule a corrupt and failing empire, or to challenge the fates for another throw against one's destiny, what was a king to do?
Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered launches next month and will be available to pre-order starting...
God, that cover looks so fucking dog shit. Oh my god. Just bringing up character who doesn't matter, Kain and Raziel facing off against each other, the Elder God and his eyes in the background, and then just Janos Aldrin standing at the top of the pile next to Vordor flanking his left. Like that shit looks cute. That's so bad. Meanwhile, the original game art, this. But you want us to take in that shit. That's so scuffed. That's so scuffed, my guy. It's so scuffed. This is so sauceless. It is so bad. But Carl, I don't see the difference. Hell, even the PlayStation 2 cover is different than the original art they used on the other one. But it's so fucking soulless. It's so bad. The composition is so dog shit. It's just so bad, man.
Starting today.
Brigandine Abyss is the latest installment in HappyNet's Brigandine series.
And we're just gonna roll into the next anime game like that shit didn't just fucking happen? Okay, alright, that's definitely a choice.
Which dates back to 1998 on the original PlayStation. This fantasy war strategy RPG tells the story of 6 heroes who rise against an empire invading with overwhelming power. Enjoy deep strategic gameplay with over 100 unit classes, including knights and new types of monsters. and countless hours of gameplay, with 6 main storylines and side quests across 24 nations. Brigandine Abyss launches this year, and you can wishlist it starting today.
So, you want Lan de Gracier fused with Fire Emblem and combined with the tactical prowess of Final Fantasy Tactics. Alright. But it's like, yawn. I didn't feel like I was impressed to buy this. Also, why is it an exclusive? When will you learn? When will you learn? When will you learn that exclusives are the death of the game?
Now let's head over to Koei Tecmo Games in Yokohama for an update on the Dead or Alive series.
こんにちは。シリーズプロデューサーの林です。本日はデッドアライブシリーズが新たなアップデートとともに復活する
Yay, they're back and with a brand new update.
ことを発表させていただきます。
無限転身の名にかけて
Dead or Alive 6. Last round.
本作デッドアライブ6ラストラウンドはオリジナルのデッドアライブ6をベースにダウンロードコンテンツとして追加配信したキャラクターをセットにし、プレイステーション5用の最適化、新規コスチュームの追加、新たなフォトモードの追加を行ったタイトルです。
You know, an improved photo mode. For reasons. For reasons. For reasons. I'm not impressed.
今後も新キャラクターや新コスチュームの配信など継続的なアップデートを予定しています。発売日同日に基本無料版も展開
At launch, a free-to-play version will also be available. What does that mean?
予定ですので、シリーズを遊んだことない方も
This will be perfect for those new to the series who want to give it a try. A series that for some reason is crossing over with Ninja Gaiden, so you might get to see Ryu Hayabusa give a nigga the Azuna drop.
ぜひご体験ください。
あなたに私は倒せない。
Why is it exclusive to the console? Why is it exclusive to the console? Ryu Hayabusa was always in DOA. Oh, okay. Well, that's alright then. It just struck me like it was a crossover. I think DOA stuck with the new faces, DOA, which is Marie Rose and Hanoka. There's no beach spinoff, an instant turn off. I mean, this is just the Sony trailer. Look, I'm going to be very direct about this, Wolfsbane. The screen says Dead or Alive 6, last round, coming to PS5 June 25th, 2026. It does not say coming to PS5 and PC, like the other 3 games before it said. I know that one of these games is coming to PC and the console. But if they don't say it here, it's going to be confusing. There should not need to be a screen that says to someone else, oh, well, you see, it says that it's just this, but it's this and this. Because that probably means someone fucked up with the rights issues, and so they have to release them with a different spin-off. And that doesn't lead to a good relaunch party. Alright? I'll make my point even more clear. Boop, 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 boop. Kena, Scars of Cosmora, coming to PS5 and PC. No fuck up, no disambiguation. Lost Round, coming to PS5. No PC. No and PC. Other games unlisted this as well, including the one I just bitched about. Can we agree that if it's coming to two things, it should say that it's coming to two things? What made them dig up DOA from the grave? Probably a licensing issue. Probably a licensing issue and the opportunity to reinvent its identity ever since Joey Collaire basically tried to make the Dead or Alive series dead on arrival because of his desire to fuck around with the sovereign money and to basically say our core values is that we allow gooners to rape kids. Without him in the way, Dead or Alive can be able to make a resurgence, but I don't think it's going to come through the way that it's supposed to. I think I agree with Snitzel's take that Dead or Alive 7 is going to repeat the stakes of Vanilla 6 and push back old fan favorites in favor of Marie Rose, as was the case with Extreme 3 and Venus Vacation. And with the spinoff, or any spinoff that they may do or may not do, the amount of people who want to play Dead or Alive as a fighting game is going to be completely different from the amount of people who want to do the same thing that they're doing with Sengun Kagura. Which is to say, much like I mentioned the last time when I said I bought Peach Ball simply because I wanted to play a pinball machine, the porn side of the game needs to be separate from the entertainment, repeatable content side of the game. Right? If you're playing the fighting game to play a fighting game, the fighting game needs to be the part that takes precedent. Period. If you put in all this interest about camera modes versus, I don't know, rollback netcode, I think you're not talking about what real fighting game players are going to want to talk about. But at the same time, if you don't have a spin-off series that's going to follow afterwards with this one, it feels like you're cheapening out on what effectively is a series franchise opportunity. You know, just in general. That's just my take, but I think my take is closer to being right than most people's takes would be closer to being wrong. Because it's just not, it's not giving. It's just not giving. I'm not pushed over the edge to want to buy the game. I'm not papping it. Anyone who says Marie Rose saved DOA is being dishonest. Technically, Marie Rose's introduction made DOA 5 a financial success. However, the franchise completely lost its way and its soul as a consequence. I think you can make that same argument about certain parts of certain franchises like Soul Calibur or Bloody Roar or Fatal Fury or King of Fighters, but sometimes they kind of course corrected over time, and then everywhere else is kind of like, I don't know, you'll figure it out eventually. I'm not that big of a Dead or Alive fan, but I do think that there was definitely a problem that came with how they chose not to properly feature and advertise this as intended, especially with Yuki and her collaborator when they were on stage trying to promote the original DOA 6. It's up there in the air, basically. People who love Mireos and Honoka generally aren't actual DOA fans. I'm gonna let that take sit there because I don't have an opinion. I do not know enough about the capacity of the culture behind it for me to have an opinion at this time. And then they mentioned that the free-to-play version is available at launch. I still want to know what that means. Does free-to-play mean campaign? Does it mean online battle mode? Does it mean local co-op battle mode? What does that mean?
Dead or Alive は1996年から展開している対戦アクションゲームシリーズです。数多くの作品を世に送り出して今年で30周年になります。そのタイミングでこういった発表できることを大変嬉しく思います。では最後にこちらの映像をご覧ください。
They even have a trailer. The dawn of a new chapter awaits, in development for PS5. And then they started working on the next Dead or Alive game. Here's hoping Dead or Alive 7 is more of what should have been, and not fucking black leather Saudi Arabian sovereign money booby armor. Just know that there is a civil war that technically exists between the fighting aspect and the extreme spin-off games. Free-to-play means you get 2 characters and can buy the rest of the cast in campaign mode later. Wow, that's really bad. They're fans of the spin-off. That's fair. I'm just expressing my take. You're allowed to express your take. I do not know enough at this time in order to have an opinion. And even if I did, I feel like I would be missing context, because if I put this in the context of the games that have had spin-offs like that, it feels like it'd be a bridge burning between the people that were fans of a game because of what is considered to be the, quote, main characters of their potential and their current story arcs, versus those that are basically fans of the state, corporate, and inspired and licensed Gooner art, specifically for the intentions of busting a nut to the price of $59.99 or more. Like, I had that feeling when it came to things like King of Fighters 13. But a dream battle with all of my favorite characters would probably not have that problem. Because I wasn't a fan of the timey-wimey bullshit arc where the French femboy who wears leather basically sacrifices themselves so that the timeline can reset. Things like that is really, really bad. I also agree with your idea there. Showing the crack of Kasumi's cleavage as a vain attempt to claim we're bringing back Booby is probably just going to lead to more safe horny shit. I would need to see a full armitage of the character designs and also of the character cosmetics and suits, so that we can find out whether or not you're going to be doing things like, in the future, there will be a Mai Shiranui crossover, and she's going to be wearing that dumbass black undersuit that they decided to force her into in one of those fucking games. Core Fighters free-to-play has been a thing since DOA 4, ever since you could buy a game online, and expanded from 2 to 4 players in DOA 5 last round. Not DOA 4, but DOA 5 vanilla. I think I don't like the idea of I'm being given 2 free characters and I can buy the rest of the cast in campaign mode later on, because, you know, I'm a Tekken fan, right? DLC Tekken buy-ins that started becoming a thing ever since online capabilities made possible through Steam were a thing, but, you know, I have to unlock and earn certain characters. Regardless. I think I can agree with that. Axel Crusher. It doesn't feel like a we're so back moment. It just feels like a are they gonna buy this shit moment. This is obviously Control resonant. We can tell from the last announcement that brought this game forward. But I swear, the more and more that I see shit like this, I think I have to agree with the AAA Mario opinion. It's definitely going to be a AAA video game, and it's going to have cringy dialogue. But how bad is it really going to get?
Zoe, I see the spotlights.
And you're getting closer. Listen, Dylan, we're getting distress calls from the theater, but research thinks we might have a resident on our hands. No one should have survived that.
Then I'll hurry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mikael Kasurinen, and I'm the creative director of Control Resonant, the game-changing sequel to Control. What you are seeing here is
I mean, technically, wouldn't it be a game-breaking sequel to FBC Firebreak? I can't stop making that joke. But no, wouldn't it be a sequel to FBC Firebreak? and not necessarily Control. Certainly, it's the Control universe. Fuck me. Exactly, Throwdown. I've seen DOA die with dignity to see what it become. Focus M, Focus C, 1 second. The core fighters were his way for people who weren't sold on the game to play it. It was like a demo version of the game. It depends on the team. Koei Tecmo will have done good with Ninja Gaiden 4 and Neo 3. The first Control was a shooter, though. Well, you see, Pip, as the joke goes, first there was Control and its Legendary Edition that started selling for $5. And then there was FBC Firebreak, which decided that it wanted to exist in the Control universe, but wanted to force the 4-man co-op jump in, jump out, couch phantasmagoria of this universe. And then they made the third game that actually follows up the story of the second game for what people probably actually wanted, which was a sandbox-like environment where they could use their godlike abilities to kill whoever. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's that one game, Infamous, with extra steps. But that's just me.
Captured from our in-development build. We play as Dylan Faden, our supernaturally gifted hero, in a version of Manhattan like you haven't seen before. We recently acquired Shift, an ability that empowers Dylan to seamlessly move through gravity anomalies and adapt to the world around him. Here we are showcasing a set of different forms of Dylan's main weapon, the Aberrant, can take, and his supernatural abilities. There are a lot of different ones you can discover to suit your playstyle. While in combat, we encourage you to play aggressively, balancing between melee attacks and abilities.
Any updates for me?
Kind of. You'll know it when you hear it. Just try to stay alive out there, okay?
There's that AAA dialogue we hate so much.
Almost there, Zoe.
I laugh that even when they do this SPC adjacent type world, it feels so Diet-like. It's really because they're not willing to go to the highest level. They want to keep it in tone and recognizable, which in my opinion is a part of the death of its content. Me personally, for an SCP-like that I enjoy, I think I enjoy Rosetta and all of the things that happen inside of Once Human compared to Control. But that's just, my opinion.
What the hell is that thing?
Sentinel ass takedown.
I think I hear something. I know where the Resonant is, Zoe. I'll call you back.
Resonants are the dominant threat in what's our most ambitious game to date. And we can't wait to share it with you later in 2026.
Long ago, you were made for this night, to save the age of man. Half human, half angel. They call you sin. I call you salvation.
Okay. What are we supposed to be learning from this? No, wait, this is Crimson Moon. Never mind. More Goy Slop for the Goy Slop. Boy, that looked gay. Boy, that fucking looked gay. Oh my god. And now for that bullshit they've been working on from Game Freak. Certainly this must have been what they were working on and made them all so concerned about their patent rights, right? Looks so aggressively mid.
Thanks to Fictions
and another
Game
one
Freak for that new look at characters in combat in Beast of Reincarnation. It's coming to PS5 this summer.
Our next title debuted 3 decades ago alongside the original PlayStation, and it introduced the world to an iconic character. Today, Ubisoft and Digital Eclipse celebrate that legacy with Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition.
I've already heard about many things that are bad and wrong with this game, including the fact that they do not have a choice for the original soundtrack, even though one of the replacement soundtrack was made by Rayman Origins and Legends designer and composer, as well as there being corruption issues with the files and the save states.
This digital museum features 5 playable versions of the original game, including the 1995 PlayStation release, enhanced with new accessibility options.
No, bring that ass back here.
PlayStation release, enhanced.
That is a cheat menu! A cheat menu! cheating! It is a cheat menu with cheats for cheating! I fucking bite my thumb at you, bitch. God almighty. Yes, I can agree that in fairness, Rayman 1 is a very difficult game. Arguably the best definition of a game that outside of the Nintendo and SNK brand is in fact Nintendo hard. Including Eat It Joe's. Unironically so, since the only way to beat Darkman, or to face Darkman, is to find every single Electoon. However, this is a cheat window. The words on the screen, okay, Snitzel? The words on the screen are the reason why I'm objecting as loud as I am, alright? The reason why I'm objecting as loud as I am is because of what they said. The original release enhanced with a cheat window. But the words they used was new accessibility options. This is the presentation and the prognostication of accessibility as a form of difficulty. The game is too hard, so what we'll do is we'll give you access to cheating! Every other game that has ever done this has done this in the form of rewinds, save states, and other shit. Infinite lives, max HP, infinite continues, unlocking all levels, unlocking all abilities. Progression, understanding and playing the game as intended, figuring things out, mastering the game, no, cheat from fucking game start. What's the point? What is the point, bro? Well, you see, they also did that with Sonic 1. Sonic Origins, I'm pretty sure, if it hasn't been introduced with the core mechanics, it was introduced with a fucking mod, has people using save states as a formulation and methodology to effectively get past the, quote, hard, difficult parts that would require precise game timing. Calling it a digital museum copy, where people get the ability to play a version of the game that has this particular involvement, it's not good. Because this is yet again another concession being made by the game industry at large to normalize the idea of allowing people to cheat from game start. You should not be giving people access to cheats from game start. And you should also not be calling them enhancements or accessibility options. You know what's an accessibility option? Button remapping. Not cheat engines. Not an infinite life system. Not the ability to completely curb all of the mechanics and all of the progression of the game by unlocking every ability that would be locked over the time of the game. Imagine if you could. Because we're not out of the woods yet when it comes to the Defiance remake. Imagine if you could that all of the powers available to the character were available upon starting the game on its first load. Imagine if you had access to all of Raziel's powers and all of Kane's powers on both sides of the game from game start. What's the point of a narrative video game that's meant to be one part immersive and one part passion play if you're literally skipping massive parts of the game because, lol, I can just turn this on and get to the end? One could argue that Rayman 1 is an experience that should be played from beginning to end legitimately, and one of the rewards would be the ability to start a file where you could probably skip through all that content when you've earned it. Infinite lives, arguable. Max HP, arguable. Infinite continues, arguable. Boom, done. There's your enhancements. The game is difficult. Yes, it is. 100%. Not even going to argue it. Infinite lives? That doesn't give you the ability to just simply cheat your way to the end. Having higher HP? Hey, you don't have a small amount of health pool. Because originally, the way that it worked is that you had a certain amount of HP, and once you lost that HP, you're fucked. Infinite continues, just alongside infinite lives. Having infinite lives and infinite continues means that in that attempt, in that run of the file, on the save that you're working on, you're still having to play through the mode as intended. But unlocking all levels? What would be the point of unlocking all levels? Some levels required you to understand the power-up and the power that you were being given so that you could be able to use that ability as a part of the navigation of the level. If you activate unlock all levels and you skip things like the Caveman Rayman section, what's going to happen when you come across a section that requires you to understand how to use the seed planting power? The same thing that would happen in any other video game where you have to learn a mechanic that is necessary for progression. You would get stuck. Because where's your context? Your context is in the level that you skipped. That's retarded. Unlocking all abilities. Destroying your ability to play the video game? Let me say this another way. Imagine a JRPG. Imagine unlocking all spells, all abilities, all content, all late game concepts and opportunities. Kind of like, say, in Nocturne, of all things. Just immediate access to the almighty spells that come at the latest part of the game, when you're basically at the point where you require using those actual accessibility options, which was the place where the Demi-Fiend was born and the place of conception. Also known as the level grinding and the money grinding sections included in the HD editions of almost every video game. Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5, well, they're working on Persona 4's update, but Persona 3, Persona 5 Royale, SMT 5 Vengeance, and SMT 3 Nocturne HD Edition, as well as Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Those accessibility features were designed because Nocturne required you to level grind like a motherfucker, and the ability to upgrade and even evolve your demons so that they had a higher viability and a higher use rate required you to give up certain things and trade for other things. So, if you want to evolve an Itogama to its upgraded point, where it drops some of the weaknesses and gains massive NDR stats, null, reflect, drain, so that you have a better teammate in your party, you can go to the place where the Demi-Fiend was born. You can grind for thick grimoires and thin grimoires, which are going to give you somewhere between 10% to 25% of the experience necessary for the next level up, and then you fight another boss or another enemy, because it's going to put your character, or it's going to put that demon at 1 XP away from its level up, thus allowing you to level up faster. And that just is a question of time spent grinding. That's a real accessibility option. Because if I have more money than I have time, unironically, if I have more money than I have time, then number one, that person playing on the accessibility feature would have also bought the Mercy expansion. Specifically, as they call it, as a part of the DLC of that game, as Carl opens his Steam library to look at the title directly. Because it's where I left it earlier this morning. The specific DLC that they call it, as a part of H3 Edition, is called Mercy and Expectation Map Pack. Namely, adding the Little Master's Mercy and the Master's Expectation, as well as the Remaster Chronicle Pack, which was for free, the Merciful Difficulty, which was also for free, as well as the Mercy and Expectation Packs, which were $2.09 because they're currently doing a 70% sale, just as much as they were also doing the Maniacs Pack that included the Dante Edition for $2.99. Real accessibility features do not let you cheat to the end of the game. That is an expectation that was put forth by things like The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. Because instead of actually playing the video game, it is an interactive movie. An immersive movie. Rayman 1 is not a movie game. You should not be cheating your way to the end. Take away the unlock all levels. Take away the unlock all abilities. Leave infinite lives. Leave max HP. Put them behind paywalls if you have to. Or rather, put them behind accessibility gates. Put them behind quest flag gates. You don't get this until you complete the game. You don't get this until you get to this boss. You don't get this until you get to this boss. Or until you've died X amount of times. Like the original Devil May Cry easy mode. Die 5 times. Die 5 times, unlock infinite continues. Die 10 times, unlock infinite lives. Etc., etc. Trying to change the terminology around what an accessibility feature is by calling it a game enhancement or any other dog shit is an intentional choice of the industry to try and weaken the argument against the resistance for why people have a deep abrasion of why people do not like cheats in the first place. Sigh.
Enhanced with new accessibility options. Discover the secrets behind Rayman's development through a long-lost playable prototype, restored for the first time. Plus, an interactive documentary packed with unseen design documents and never-before-heard insights from the original creators.
Et à un moment, c'est Sony qui arrive en disant, bah voilà notre console, on va révolutionner le jeu vidéo.
Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition comes to PS5 digitally starting tomorrow.
Here's my question. With a PS5 digital release coming literally the day after this presentation, which is by this time of this broadcast already available, why is it just the single first edition of Rayman? Bro, where's Rayman 2? Where's Rayman 3? Where's Rayman Arena, the battle game made for PS2? Where's any of the ideas of any of the content that came before the Raving Rabbids era of Rayman? Where you could actually have these things together. Why is it just Rayman by itself for the first game and official edition? Where is that? Huh? Hey guys, we want to celebrate Rayman's edition, the game that put Ubisoft on the map. So what we're going to do for a game series that basically has been abandoned by its original home office is we're going to offer the first game and nothing else. Never mind the fact that Rayman 2, when moving from the PlayStation to multi-game copies, or at least my brain is telling me that. I'm going to fact check that right now. Literally as I'm looking at this live. The Rayman 2 The Great Escape was made for Nintendo 64, Windows, Dreamcast, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, Game Boy Color, Nintendo DS, iOS, and Nintendo 3DS. Okay. That confirms what I was concerned with. Which really just makes the next criticism I'm about to say even better. A game series that was released across multiple consoles with an opportunity to bring the original games that made this franchise possible and thus put Ubisoft on the map, instead of having Rayman 1 get basically an 30th Anniversary Edition re-release, get packaged with a re-release of all of the versions that existed for Rayman 2 The Great Escape, which was then remastered with an edition that already existed in the form of Rayman Revolutions, but the same treatment being given to Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc, as well as every other video game that was basically a side party game given to the Rayman franchise. Maybe even including the Rabbids era, leading into the entire franchise as a whole as it currently exists in its current state as Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. Nah, just the first game. Just 5 different editions of the first game. Nigga, they didn't even treat Medieval like this. Do you understand how crazy that it is? They didn't even treat Medieval like this. And Medieval, literally when you complete the game 100%, had the secret of having the original game on the disc. Do you know how crazy that is? That's so crazy. That's so fucking crazy, bro. Matter of fact, isn't Medieval made by the same fucking company? I'm probably wrong about that, but I'm going to investigate anyways, because that's what my job is. No, Medieval was made by a different one. SCE Studio Cambridge. Published by Sony Interactive. So an in-house concept. Well, my nose is itchy. My nose hurts. It just feels like they were made, that both of them were made by Ubisoft, or made by people who were spiritually Ubisoft at heart, which sounds like a very deep insult that I'm going to call somebody else in the future.
Well, physical editions will be available June 26th.
That seems like bullshit, but whatever. You're eventually going to have physical copies. And yet again, another one that says coming to PS5 only, not PS5 and PC.
Mina the Hollower is an action-adventure title from the creators of Shovel Knight. Take control of Mina as she charges into a bizarre mission to save a cursed island. Whip foes into oblivion, burrow under hazards and monsters, and hunt down secrets in a pixel-perfect love letter to handheld gaming. Mina the Hollower's release date is on the horizon. The limited time demo will be exclusively available on PlayStation 5 tomorrow.
Oh wow, that's so insulting. Oh my god. It's like taking the best parts of Castlevania and combining it with a top-down perspective that came directly from the Zelda era of Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and telling them, hey, go fuck yourself, it's only for this one. That's so crazy. Let me just double check and see if Mina the Hollower is even being offered on Steam. Mina the Hollower is in fact on Steam, and it only has a wish list. It does not have a demo. That is disgusting.
Set years before the events of the original game.
Nobody give no fucks about Neva. Not one nigga cares about Neva. This is another social impact game made for cozy gamers. Devolver Digital, how dare you expose me this shit yet again.
This prologue tells the story of how Alba and the wolf cub Neva first met. Alba must earn the young wolf's trust and guide her through the blighted wilderness. Together, they will face new enemies and endure perilous trials, while confronting a monstrous force that threatens to tear them apart. Players can look forward to using new gameplay mechanics in all new locations. Neva Prologue launches February 19th.
The shit game comes out sooner than all the good games. Air quote, good games. That's crazy.
Next, a tactical stealth action title from Shueisha Games and Acquire, a team with ninja credentials dating back to the Tenchu series.
But it's not Tenchu, now is it? Sigh. I don't know, Grace. Even if they hadn't won the award, it is entirely likely, just like with Monument Valley and a bunch of other cozy games that have made sequels of their titles, that they would likely have made a sequel anyways, because they probably have enough of a demographic base that they can be able to make that sequel and that they will make back a dividend that will be enjoyed by all. However, I find it to be one of those cases of this is not something that people really are waiting for, and it's not something that people are really checking for. So, it feels more like it's another shoe-in for social impact, specifically so that you can justify how the game design scene is pushing all new ways of telling interpretive, immersive sim stories. Because Neva is an immersive sim, in the sense that you're meant to lose yourself in the emotional gameplay and story of the simplistic design it's supposed to be offering you. Okay, I'm sorry. When the camera is when the characters are running at the camera and the entire movement in the background stays static, it looks like it's one of those fucking memes, okay? Like, look at this shit. Does that not look like it's the beginning of a fucking meme being made by somebody doing something in Gmod? Shueisha Games releasing a ninja video game in 2027. No date. I guess Q4. And then right into a new one. Captured on the PS5 Pro. Woman, you have bad skin. From the acclaimed novel series, The Bird That Drinks Tears. I've never heard of it.
We are the children of water, born of the goddess. You filthy creatures, faithless, soulless, unclean. This world was never yours to keep. How dare you stand in the way of purity, little king?
What I say, what I did say, it looks like Foghorn Leghorn has found himself isekai'd into the mountain ranges. Yes, sir, it does indeed feel like he has been isekai'd into the mountain range and he's about to have to square off with a lion. God damn, look at the muscles on that boy. It goes all the way back. I'm telling you, it goes all the way back. That'd be very funny. That would be very funny. It would be very, very funny if Foghorn Leghorn and or the Family Guy chicken were to be isekai'd into a universe where they basically live the timeline of the Forbidden Kingdom. He's pulling his cock out! It's Korean. The point is wuxia. This very clearly is pulling on wuxia. even if it's Korean in basis. Korean build hack and slash. And bloody Tenchi Muyo level hack and slash. Man. Dynasty Warriors, eat your heart out, huh? I say, cock-a-doodle-doo, nigga. Project Windless. Is that the final name of the project? I can't imagine that's the final name. So, okay. Project Windless. I say, boy, you're pissing too damn loud, boy. I'm trying to be isekai into the Chinese game, boy. Oh, my God. I'm somewhat tempted to buy this game to do my Foghorn Leghorn impression the entire stream. Can't steal my idea. I was already thinking to do that. Lucas feels detected, immediately not interested. Unless...
Our newest racer has arrived! Welcome to the Galactic League! Since you're here, why not take part in a friendly exhibition race? Impeding! If they weren't holding me back right now, I'd have you frozen in carbonite!
Star Wars Galactic Racer, otherwise known as pod racing, but instead of just being on one planet in Tatooine, it's instead on an entire galactic runway that basically makes this like Forza F1 or like Gran Turismo, but with a Star Wars skin on top. Debatable. The children do long for pod racing. However, I don't think it's worth it. I don't give a fuck about no fucking 007 first. Like, get that shit the fuck out of here. Suck my dick, ROI. Suck my fucking wiggly dick. But Carl, why are you not giving it a chance to hear it out? Because I've already seen this like 14 different times, including the original IOI interactive piece. And I don't give a fuck about no goddamn James Bond Jr. because they have demonstrated that they have no interest in actually talking about or showing the adventures that make the character 007. This is an opportunity for them to reboot the character as a social justice warrior applicable version of the character's self. Because they claim that actually Old Man Bond is bad, and he is problematic, and this is a reinvention for a new era, for a new type of Bond, for a new modern audience. Which means not James Bond, meaning suck my wiggly dick.
When do I stop?
You get what you pay for when you choose to reboot this shit. You get what you fucking pay for. And it has all the markings of AAA gog shit slop that's going to continue to rot the industry from the inside. Ideologically and story speaking.
I'm Peter Brown. I manage the game content team within Third Party Portfolio. We evaluate games coming from publishers all over the world, from indie to AAA. Those of us in the Third Party Portfolio team travel the world and meet with our partners. And it's even more exciting for me when those partners have been foundational to my own love of video games. And Konami is definitely one of those partners. I think a lot of people remember Konami for being with PlayStation in the very beginning, taking some amazing franchises that everyone already knew and loved, and injecting them with new technology and new ways of designing video games that we haven't thought of before. We were really impressed when Konami approached us with their list of announcements for today's State of Play. So to mark the occasion, we wanted to try something a little different. We join you today from Konami Creative Front Tokyo Bay, not only to share some really exciting reveals for upcoming games, but also spotlight some of the key talent behind them. We're really excited about the diverse lineup they've brought today, and we hope you will be too. Enjoy.
Thank you, John Whiteman Video Games. Please let the presentation be good. Volume 2, Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker.
There's one more thing I must do. One last punishment I must endure.
Outer Heaven. He's taken command of this immense army and is now preparing to unleash an insurrection.
Liquid's goal is to seize control of SOP, the Sons of the Patriot system that controls the soldiers.
Will you do this for me? Will you terminate Liquid?
How long is my body gonna hold out?
When all of this is over, you'll have no choice but to accept death.
This is my final mission.
So began the war between Zero and Big Boss.
Do you understand, Snake? Any means necessary. Just stop Liquid's insurrection. Liquid! Guns of the Patriot!
Because I knew where my loyalty belonged. Nukes. They're bringing nukes into Costa Rica.
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Please, you must drive them out of our defenseless country as our deterrent.
Yes. It simply said Jack.
Over and over.
Boss. Is that you? Answer me! Boss!
I mean, that's a pretty fast turnaround. I don't really have an opinion about this. I was never really a very large fan of Metal Gear Solid. I understand the importance of all of them, as well as the importance of what is now being considered Delta. But in the long term of things, my eyes roll backwards into my head as I snooze, because it is just not my bag. Someone out there is coming in their pants, but it's not me. But hey, for those that are coming in their pants, like one, it is a good thing. Because it doesn't sound like they changed anything in this, they just mastered and remastered the art. Oh, it even comes with bonus content. It comes with Metal Gear Ghost Babel and the original Metal Gear soundtrack Volume 2. HD Collection Edition, Screen Book Play, Master Book, Metal Gear Solid 4 Database, Screen Play, Master Book. So you get a Masters of the Art. You get the soundtrack. You even get the bonus content in the form of Metal Gear. That's cool.
メタルギアシリーズ制作プロデューサーの岡村典明です。メタルギアファンの皆様、大変お待たせいたしました。プレイステーション3向けのみで発売されていたメタルギアソリッド4ガンズ・オブ・ザ・パトリオットがプレイステーション5でついに遊べるようになります。加えてプレイステーションポータブル、プレイステーション3向けに発売されたメタルギアソリッドピースウォーカーを含むメタルギアコレクションシリーズの第2弾となっております。メタルギアサーガのラストを飾る伝説の作品を最新ハードでぜひ体感してください。そして、現在発売中のメタルギアソリッドマスターコレクションボリューム1につきましても最後のアップデートを実施いたします。
Releasing the final update of the original.
初代プレイステーション向けに発売されたメタルギアソリッド
That's pretty good.
には高解像度設定を追加し、ご覧のように映像が美しく文字も読みやすくなりました。またメタルギアソリッド3スネークイーターについてもさらなる高解像度化を実現しております。本日よりアップデート配信開始となりますので、この機会にぜひメタルギアソリッドマスターコレクションボリューム1も体験してみてください。さらに、今回の発表を記念いたしましてメタルギアシリーズの始まりの物語メタルギアソリッドデルタスネークイーターも特別なセールを実施しています。 50% オフという大変お求めやすい価格で購入できますので、この機会にぜひ楽しんでください。これからもメタルギアシリーズの展開にご期待ください。そして最後にこちらの映像をご覧ください。
Playable demo for Darwin's Paradox. So you've got a celebratory mode, specifically as, I guess, like a full game gag for Metal Gear Solid, and then you have what is effectively a cartoon game design stealth/exploration puzzle game called Darwin's Paradox on its actual coverage, which is coming in April 2nd, 2026 on the Unreal Engine, Unreal Engine 5, from ZDT Studios with a pre-order today. I mean, that's alright. But that's not whatever. If only Konami could do the same with classic Silent Hill, then the Konami Redemption arc would truly be complete. Konami's Redemption arc will not be complete until they release a new version that can be played on a PC or on a new console of the fucking step series of Dance Dance Revolution. It's not enough. And now for the Castlevania update for 40th anniversary, for the game everybody's heard about.
His Most Royal Majesty, by the grace of God, the King of France.
Also, French people, once again, if you play this video game, just like we did with Expedition 33, you are not allowed to make insults towards French people for a month. This is being made by Motion Twin, which is the same people behind Dead Cells. You are welcome. We brought you yet another video game of a franchise style not seen in a long time. Literally from the franchise name. But it's also very clear we're taking inspiration from, we're taking inspiration from a Bloodstained here with our art design. It's not the original art as it was drawn by the series Geniuses and Greats. But look. You know why. You know why this has to happen.
So now, we appeal to you, Trevor Belmont, last of House Belmont.
ご覧いただきありがとうございます。キャッスルバニアベルモンドカースプロデューサーの谷口勉です。今回見ていただいた映像はキャッスルバニアシリーズ40周年記念第1弾となるキャッスルバニアベルモンドカースのアナウンス映像です。これまで我々のチームは多くの方にキャッスルバニアに触れていただきたいという思いでシリーズの過去作を最新ハードでプレイしていただけるようにいくつかのコレクションタイトルを配信してきました。また多くの素晴らしいパートナーとコラボレーションにも取り組んでまいりました。そしてやっと本日新しいゲームについて皆様に報告できるところまで来ました。そのことがすごく嬉しいです。今回のタイトルではイビルエンパイア、モーションツインという才能と情熱にあふれるシリーズへの愛を持ったスタジオとともにプロジェクトに取り組んでいます。これまでのシリーズらしさを大切にしながらも新しいアイデアと現代的なゲームプレイを取り入れることでキャラクターのアクションはよりダイナミックで爽快に仕上がっています。シリーズファンの方はもちろんぜひ遊んでくださいと思っておりますが、まだキャッスルバニアに触れたことがないという方にもぜひ楽しんでほしいです。発売は2026年を予定しておりますので続報を楽しみにお待ちください。
It is definitely a choice, and it is a very intelligent one, to use two companies that fully understand the Metroidvania Castlevania style of exploration and gameplay while still bringing on new inspirational people to be a part of the team's design for what will then become the backboard of this new era of design for Castlevania and its puzzles and its combat. It's like when people first shat on those new versions, the one with the black guy in Prince of Persia, right? Prince of Persia Rogue, whatever the fuck they called it. 2.5D combat, but it basically was a knockoff of Dead Cells in the spirit of Prince of Persia. The problem was not in innovating. It was in the fault of them basically not giving people something good. Namely, a modern remake of the PlayStation 2 era of The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and The Two Thrones as a mastered collection port. We already know about the cancelled game that was going to basically be Indians self-inserting themselves as the roleplay characters for Farah and the Prince. If you didn't know, now you know because you heard it from my mouth. But this is the healthy future that you look for. You bring people together to play a video game made with new blood, directed by the old hands. And then Silent Hill gets a new game.
Listen to me. You can't stay in this room forever. I can't stay in this room forever. I know this is going to be hard. But you have to come back to me. Come back to me, Simon.
I woke up in the water again. But this time it's different. I keep trying to fix what happened. No matter what I do,
You can't fix it. It doesn't let us change things. You did what you did.
Annapurna? Well, this is about to get interesting. Watch the Silent Hill transmission on the official Silent Hill YouTube panel immediately following the state of play. So this has already happened. When you flashed Annapurna on the screen, you had my attention.
A world shrouded by lightfall. Shining drops of light that bring death as they fall. journey.
That's one way to spell the name Ash.
Those were Her Majesty's words.
I'm going to defeat you here and stop the Lightfall.
Rev Noir. Rev period Noir. Where hope sparks catastrophe. Because you get turned into fucking golden statues by what is effectively rainfall. In development for PlayStation 5.
皆さんこんにちは。プロデューサーの門井です。ティザートレーラーの方はいかがでしたでしょうか。レブノワールは完全新作の JRPG です。私自身を含め JRPG を愛し続けてきたメンバーが情熱を持って開発したタイトルとなります。仲間との出会い、成長、そして JRPG には大事な心揺さぶられるような展開、こちらを大事にしてナラティブというものを表現しようと、突き進めております。新しい冒険が始まるというワクワク感、ぜひ楽しんでいただけると思います。今日、お届けした映像は本当に一部の一部で、レブノワール続報がこれからもどんどん出ていくと思いますので、ぜひ、楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。
Upcoming games from Konami. Games coming 2026, 2026. Game in development 2026, 2076. I'm thinking Q2. Midsummer.
A man with your skill set must be able to move unconstrained, unrestricted. He must be versatile, capable, adaptable. He must be grounded, stable, constant. I believe you are ready, sir.
John Wick.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this comes way, way, way too late into the John Wick franchise. We're already on Ana de Armas being the ballerina and creating an extended universe on the corpse of Lance. Goodbye, Lance. We wish you well. Zavala's in good hands. ... But an untitled John Wick game made after John Wick Chapter 4? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Good morning, New Cascadia. This is Joy. your community outreach liaison. It's a lovely day outside. It's quiet. Very quiet. Rainfall is expected to begin in the early afternoon and last until a long time. For those who did not wake, your restless dreams endure. So small among the stars. Breathe softly. Do not worry. Peace is upon you. And I am here to walk with you into its embrace.
Mayday! 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 This is General David Reed of the New Cascadia colony on Tau City 4. Whoever's listening, whatever's out there, we need anything. Weapons, supplies, a way out, a way back. Mayday, mayday. This is David Reed. Tau City. I feel like I'm praying. We've had to do things to survive. Things I never would have. We're monsters. We're all monsters.
Embrace. Embrace. Embrace.
Mayday! 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 Mayday!
Can you stop raping my fucking eyes, please? Open Weekend Preview Server Slam, February 26th to March 2nd. Nice of you to announce that ahead of time, with a paid-for subscription on console as well as internet access. That's pretty gay. But, can you stop raping my eyes with the fucking digitized shit? Marathon's gonna be a goddamn piece of dog water. Okay? It's gonna be an absolute fucking piece of dog water. Don't insult our intelligence. It's gonna be dog shit. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. We all know it's gonna be dog shit. Let's not lie to ourselves. We know it's coming. We've seen enough trailers of gameplay and mechanics and ideas they put in the game. It's gonna be bad. Launching March 5th, huh?
Hey everyone, my name is Joe Ziegler and I'm the game director on Marathon. Today we're excited to announce our Server Slam from February 26th through March 2nd, where you can join us on Tau Ceti and help test Marathon on PlayStation 5 and other platforms. Our Server Slam features an introduction to the survival gameplay of Marathon, giving you a chance to explore the dangerous world of Tau Ceti and unlock rewards for the full release on Thursday, March 5th. For all PlayStation Plus players, we're also excited to share a collection of unique weapon charms that pay homage to some of our favorite PlayStation games, including Helldivers 2, Death Stranding 2, and Ghost of Yotei.
That is disgusting. Would you like to be recognized for your loyalty? We're gonna give you weapon charms for your starting pistols and weapons. Isn't that cool? Never mind what we did to possibly gimp and or handicap those franchises so that they were struggling to develop themselves in the time period in which they were released. We're going to give you the ability to show your pride. Show your pride.
Available at launch. From everyone here at Bungie, thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll see you on Tau Ceti starting February 26th.
This one coming to PS5 and PC March 5th, 2026.
Hey, I'm Brett.
And I'm Kristen. Thanks.
You have unfortunate physiognomy, Juris woman. You have unfortunate physiognomy. Jesus Christ. If you were to tell me that was a trans man, I would have believed you.
To Bungie for that new look at Marathon, coming to PS5 on March 5th, with the server slam running February 26th through March 2nd.
Now let's check in on what's coming to PlayStation Plus over the next few months. Up first, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 swings into game catalog next week. Developed by Insomniac Games in collaboration with Marvel Games, be greater together as Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Let's go! In this thrilling sequel, the Spider-Men must balance their personal and heroic responsibilities while protecting the city from iconic villains.
And watching Peter being completely pigeonholed by the minority in his video game, who's then gonna get a costume change based around a fucking shoe promotional deal that was made with Adidas.
All Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man. How to help you.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 joins the PlayStation Plus game catalog on February 17th.
The PlayStation Plus Classics catalog welcomes 2 fan favorites over the next few months, starting with Tekken Dark Resurrection, a fantastic fighting game that originally released on PSP. PlayStation Plus Premium members can expect to revisit this handheld classic in March.
So, a gacha game version of Tekken? Featuring a gold meter?
This handheld classic in March.
I don't think I don't know if I understand.
The original PlayStation version of Time Crisis brings arcade action to the Classics catalog in May. This version also offers gyroscopic aiming with the DualShock 4 or PS5 DualSense controller, simulating the original light gun experience.
You know, when most people think of something that's supposed to be a quality classic, they think of something like Time Crisis. They don't think of a Tekken game they've never heard of. Also, when are you going to give us ports of Dissidia and Dissidio Duodecium? When are we going to get those off the PSP catalog? When?
Big Walk is a cooperative multiplayer adventure about teamwork and talking. Hang out and get lost with your friends in an open world full of challenges, puzzles, and playful discoveries.
Cozy friend flop. To be expected.
That's all for me and Brett, but we still have a lot more cool stuff to show you, including brand new Saros gameplay.
Housemarque's next action.
All right. Saros gameplay. Now I can enjoy my pinball parry experience with my bullet rush hell and my specifically exclusive Indian characters.
The game releases April 30th, and creative director Gregory Loudon has even more systems and combat to break down. Let's take a look.
What is that for you, Arjun? Finishing the mission. Keeping people safe. Oh, Arjun. I know you better than that.
Hey everyone, I'm Gregory Loudon, creative director at Housemarque. Today we're excited to show off our Comeback Stronger features and Eclipse gameplay running on PlayStation 5. In Saros, you step into the shoes of Arjun Devraj, performed by the brilliant Rahul Kohli, who is discovering the hostile shape-shifting planet of Carcosa. As you encounter a variety of ever more brutal hostiles, death is inevitable. But in Saros, death only means that you will come back stronger. Welcome to the Passage. You are not on your own. Interacting with the survivors of Echelon 4 will help you understand the mysteries of Carcosa.
I can't believe so many are gone.
They didn't all die. Some of them changed.
This is Primary, the voice of Soltari. Here you can engage with our permanent progression systems to upgrade your armor's attributes and acquire special perks. With Carcosan modifiers, you can adjust your experience by, for example, making hostiles tougher, weaker, or even removing the second chance ability entirely. However, all adjustments you choose must be kept in balance to ensure a consistent challenge level.
Is that what we're calling it? A consistent challenge level? Yeah, okay.
Primary also allows you to teleport directly to any biome that you have unlocked. This means getting back into the action quicker. It also means easier replayability the further you get into the world. Using the teleport, you can now quickly restart the selected biome and get back to where you were. And now it's time to take another shot at what killed you the first time around. Eventually, you come across an alien device. By using it, you discover that it calls the Eclipse. The Eclipse corrupts the world. It's a complete escalation of our gameplay, our audio, and our visuals on Carcosa. Hostiles now shoot corrupted projectiles, which reduce your maximum armor integrity, but you can restore it by using your power weapon. Weapons and artifacts also become corrupted, which alters them in both positive and negative ways, which ramps up the challenge. We can't wait for you to play Saros when we launch on April 30, 2026.
The air trembles. Mother Earth herself senses the coming battle. The world may hate us, we still have to save it. A true team is unbreakable! You cannot stand against the storm. Feel the power of Mother Earth.
Let me at them, Storm. Limbo is waiting, and I'm starving for your soul! Time to end this!
I've got this one. I'll show you how the X-Men get it done. You're cooked, Bob.
Initiating attack. I am all that remains of Shi'ar technology. Prepare to be disassembled. Surrender to avoid further danger.
Let's finish this.
We are stronger! Together!
マーベル闘魂ファイティングソウルズ最新のトレーラーお楽しみいただけましたでしょうか。本当にお待たせしてしまいましたけども、こうして一番初めに X-Men のチームトレーラーを発表できたこと本当に嬉しく思っています。
We're super stoked to introduce the mutants as the newly formed unbreakable X-Men into the world of Marvel Tokon.
マジックは中間距離を大きな剣で制しながらテレポーテーションで裏回りしたりなど多彩なトリッキーな動きをすることができます。
Think of Wolverine as an unstoppable savage tank. Some of his claw swipes have armor on them, so he's literally going to be able to shred through opponents' attacks.
デンジャーは、体のいろんな部分をですね武器に変形して戦うことができるキャラクターです。
She's trained the X-Men over years through battle simulation. So as a zoner in this game, she's going to set up so many traps that her opponents are going to feel like they're running an obstacle course.
トレーラーの冒頭では新たに紡がれるマーベルユニバース闘魂オリジナルストーリーの映像を含めさせていただきました。マーベル闘魂ファイティングソウルズ20キャラクターのプレイヤブルを実装しまして2026年8月6日に発売いたします。
Pre-orders open next week, so please check out our variety of editions and goodies, and we can't wait to share with you some more info.
Please check it out and stay tuned.
Your son has returned.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening, people? It is OGTC. That's right, the original God of War. Yeah, I'm back, baby. And I'm thrilled to bring you some exciting news about the series today, starting with that teaser that you just saw, yeah? Now look, we are happy and excited to finally confirm that, the Greek trilogy remake is now in development. Yeah, man, I know. Sit down. Now look, this project is still in the early stages, so it'll be a minute before we get back to share another update, right? But I'm telling you, next time we come back, we coming with something big, baby. Yeah. And in addition, since we're approaching the last few months of God of War's 20th anniversary year, we couldn't let it close without one last surprise. Now, this announcement is a passion project that will let you experience God of War's signature brutal combat, rewarding exploration, and heartfelt storytelling like you've never heard it before. I'm telling you. That's all you get. So, thank you for 2 strong decades of support, and we can't wait for you to see what we've got cooking to keep the next 20 years surprising, fresh, and fun as hell to play. Yeah, all right, you can watch it now. Go. Why are you still here? Go. Go!
Oh, Lord of mercy, it's so goddamn boring. Even with the idea of God of War, Sons of Sparta, and all the other shit that it goes with. You got a fucking snore, in the case of Marvel Talk On, despite the fact that it was a fucking move. Nothing to say, just completely flabbergasted. Then the same shit here with God of War Trilogy Remake, leading into the shit that is going to make you sick to the stomach when it comes to God of War in general. I saw a title, and I saw something online. I saw a mention where someone used the phrase God of War-like as a replacement for the hack and slash genre. I don't feel like scrolling through my timeline to find the tweet, but it was there. And there's lots of things that you could say will not, we know definitively right now, we know they will not be a part of a God of War reboot. Not in this timeline, not in this franchise, not in this climate, not in this industry. Okay? Make your peace with those things. Everything else that's a part of the narrative of the original God of War trilogy, and anything that is involved in any of the PSP games that featured anything. Anything at all that won't meld in a modern audience, okay? It's just, oh my god. Where do you fucking start? It just makes me sick to my fucking stomach. How do you even begin that conversation? Now, I remember the exact context of the tweet. It was about the God game, Dante's Inferno, and they called Dante Inferno one of the best God of War likes. Now, in the terms of hack and slash is what it is. Right? And from the hands and from the mouths of the people who made the original God of War, they made the original God of War as a Devil May Cry knockoff. You know? Devil May Cry, but it's a fictional Greek mythology. All of the stuff that has been done to Dad of War and Dad of Boy, where do you even start? How do you even begin to try and make them understand that you cannot fuck with the writing of the original God of War? Because that would be like trying to fuck with the original writing of fucking Legacy of Kain. Like, the exploration and the puzzle solving of Ico with the combat of Devil May Cry mixed together. Certainly, there are parts and there are philosophies that go inside of the writing that make things like God of War 3 the game that it is. That even sets up the narrative cycle for God of War, Dad of Boy. But to fuck with the inherent gameplay that put God of War on the map to even allow you to then create the cancer that is the remake series, so that you can reboot what God of War really is to people. I think that would be the biggest sin. That would be the biggest sin you could probably do. And if you do it directly in their face, I think people just might actually try to kill them. Like gaming Civil War, unironically. Same thing with Legacy of Kain. Certainly, Legacy of Kain Blood Omen can't be remade for a modern audience, because to remake Legacy of Kain means creating an entirely new game with the voice lines from the ground up. But the way to do that would basically be the way that they did that with Medieval, which is to say, in the Medieval remaster slash reboot slash remake, you take the original voice lines and you update the combat system and you update the way that the game functions to try to modernize the original gameplay while still remaining to the spirit and heart of itself. So Blood Omen would have to basically do something akin to what they did to Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, and 65 Days Over 2. And you'd have to create the bones of a PS2 era redesign with the mechanics and the story beats and the world building of a Nosgoth from the top-down perspective that was meant for the PlayStation and the PC. Then, of course, you go into Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2, and not accounting for them attempting to do a remaster of Blood Omen 2, you have all the shit that was made as a fucking brouhaha there, which now leads into what is now going to be a remaster of Defiance. If you tried to fuck with the soul of Legacy of Kain by changing inherent writing, character designs, character models, and you try to just, but it doesn't matter, your way through it, the same violent, intolerant rage that I would expect of the gamers is exactly what I expect out of people in the defense of God of War. Now, I think we can all accept that if the sex scenes were randomly removed, well, randomly, Carl air quotes around his head, randomly removed, I think we have all accepted, okay, that's fine. We knew that was going to happen. Because modern audience really just means sales. Modern audience really just means we want to be able to put this on a Twitch VOD where it's selling you a copy of the game next to a commercial. There won't be a person who will randomly tune into this video game and see a sex scene the same way that if they were to randomly tune into a broadcast of The Last of Us Part 2, completely views in on the butt fuck. Right? Right. Because, you know, it's not the same. Sexual gratification about emotional maturity versus a woman getting gang fucked right on camera. But the writing, the worldview, the writing, the intention to go behind ourselves to take the original voice acting, and Lord forbid you try to redesign it where you bring in Snake Skin, the golden snake skin king himself, to revoice the voice lines of the original voice actor. Or you bring him in and you try to make him redo any voice lines so that you can do the same bullshit they tried with D lowercase MC, where they tried to update the dialogue because they thought that they were slick. Yeah, don't do that. They might actually try to kill y'all. Unironically so. And you deserve it because it'd be justified. Here's hoping that they're not a bunch of retards, I guess. Here's hoping that they're not a bunch of retards. I'm sorry if it felt like I didn't have anything to say there. I was trying to give it a chance. I was trying desperately to give it a chance. Same thing with Tokon. Like, what can I say about Saros? What can I say about Tokon? We've seen this already. All we're really doing here is just glazing up something we have already been looking forward to, especially in the case of Arc System. Like, this has already been presented. We've already seen it. I have nothing to say at that point. There's nothing new introduced. Not to me that deserves opinions, though. Regardless, we're almost done here.
Before I was a father. Before I was a god. I was a Spartan.
Yes. I've seen the jokes that people have made about this. We want to have a better, more accessible, much cheaper game. But what happens when we give them that game is we end up shitting on everything that's new and different. Yeah. I think it's just because it just looks a certain way. That's it. That's all.
Spartans! Our duty is to Sparta.
I recognize that voice acting.
Here is a reaction. Courage is a decision. Press your attack! Don't relent! Never on our backs! Never left behind! Always.
If you were to tell me that this was made in the universe of God of War, but it's not actually about Kratos himself, I would believe you. Because this looks like the kind of indie game that would have low resolution, or rather, throwback graphics to give people the ability to have narrative in play, so that you can add in additional voice acting from a modern generation of voice actors. But because it's under the tutelage of God of War, it is, you know what I'm going to say. I don't even have to say it. You know what I'm going to say. And if you don't know what I'm going to say, it means that you haven't been playing enough of those video games that already exist on the Steam library. So, you know. Those who know ball, if you know ball, you know ball. Basically, Juan said it for me. Sons of Sparta is a less atmospheric Blasphemous clone. Yes, exactly. So, if you know ball, that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It just means it's different. And because it's different, and it's not immediately what you recognize when you think of God of War, people have already been bitching about it into the ground. So, going back to what I said earlier this morning, the idea that people are never willing to accept something new and something different, therefore the picky babies are going to stop us from having new things? No, that's just not true. It's just that it looks like something that is meant to tide you over in between releases until the next update of the major franchise release. Like God of War, Dad of Boy, Stepdad. I don't even know what the fuck you should say. God of War, Dad of Boy, Father of New Son. In a new installment in the Dad of Boy franchise, Kratos has been tapping Freya's ass non-stop, wearing that bitch out. That pussy is so goddamn loose that now she's pregnant, and now it's Atreus' turn to learn what it's... We've learned what it means for Kratos to be a father, but now it's time for Atreus to learn what it means to be an older brother. And this is the game that tied you in between their development cycle for that new video game. Mind you, I am not trying to prognosticate and bring into experience ideas for them to shit up an ideological design of what the narrative through ploy for the next video game is going to be. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, single-player Carl doesn't know what it means to be a father, because he thinks feminist writing that tells you how to be a man from the position of the feminist longhouse means that he's not qualified to talk about video games. Remember, chat, so said a retard who knows nothing about video games, or their audiences, or their content. But anyways, this looks like the title. Much like people are probably going to accuse Konami of doing this when it comes to the new Castlevania game, this is the kind of game that it looks like a system and a company puts together when they want to give you something to tide you over between content releases. It's a different art style, it's a different gameplay style, but it's basically all of the motions and all the pieces that you necessarily require for a combat system that represents God of War, but it's just in a pixelated style that we haven't seen before. It's like what you would have expected of like a mobile game of God of War, you know? Like, in the time period of 2005 to 2013, where most games were played on a flip phone before the true advent of the modernization of the smartphone, this is what you probably would have expected as like a tie-in video game that was made specifically for the mobile phone platform. You could make the same argument about things like Let It Die and things like Castlevania, but it has atmosphere. It is in the blood and it's in the DNA of the Castlevania franchise. And it doesn't look like it's a mobile port game, whereas this looks like it's a mobile port game. Yes, they did have a mobile game port that was called Betrayal. It was very bad. In my opinion, it was very bad. Still, this is like the last thing in the presentation, so...
tragedies and triumphs, of destruction and redemption.
Whose voice is this? Is this really Judge? It doesn't sound like him.
Begins here.
Be ready for Sparta!
Oh no, they're making it a demo story. Oh no, they're making it a demo story about both Kratos and Demos. That's definitely a choice.
This is
Al. Available today. At least you guys gave them something to chew on immediately after the state of play, you know? Immediately rush off to the game store, immediately rush off to Steam, get this as quick as possible, blah, 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 blah. Give them something to play as they look forward to the new releases that release from the state of play. Argumentative, at least.
This is only the beginning.
It just looks so bad compared to each other. Some games look better than others, right? Mina and God of War Sons of Sparta look okay. Belmont looks okay. When you don't listen to the fucking AAA dialogue, even Control Resonant looks okay. And then you have Resident Evil Requiem mixed in alongside this new Silent Hill game. That could be good. It could be bad. And then everything else, and it's just it overwhelms your senses. It just overwhelms your senses entirely. I think the worst looking game is definitely the Legends game, but it only looks bad because it looks uninspired. I'm sorry if that is an insult to somebody, but it looks uninspired. I'm sorry. It just looks like a Night Rain to me. Of all of these titles, the ones that I'm looking forward to the most would be Castlevania and Pragmata, and that's it. Everything else I'd be willing to play if we raised money or if I bought it on a lark, if I had disposable income to throw at it, because I've been doing my checkbook. I've been balancing and looking at my actual cost of how much I pay in money for everything, and bro, I pay so much money and shit. It's not fucking funny, man. So we'll have to see if anything's worth doing. But, you know, this is TC Carson. They brought him back for the game. Well, goddamn. Ain't that something? But yeah, I don't look forward to anything here outside of those titles. I mean, that and Project Windless, I guess. Those two and Project Windless. Those are the things I'm looking forward to the most. Alright. I've talked my way through it, while basically having nothing to say about Talkon, which, again, I don't have anything to say about Talkon. If you like fighting games, and you're down for a 4-on-4, then it is what it is, okay? That's all there really is to it. If you like fighting games, you're gonna take in the English voice actor shit, and if you don't like English voice actors doing what English voice actors do, be prepared to put it on fucking Japanese or Korean or whatever. Who knows? Who cares? There's not really anything you can really say about this other than it's the presentation of the voice actors and the announcement of the voice actors voicing the characters. That and the full Ultimate Edition with the additional pre-order bonuses, the chromatic color unlocks for all 20 launch characters, as well as 5 character costumes for the Advanced Spider Suit, which basically means Insomniac Spider-Man, Punk Rock Storm, Classic Iron Man, Classic Captain America, and Supreme Ruler Doctor Doom. And then hints at the first Year 1 4 characters and a stage pass, as well as Howard the Duck and Cosmo, a lobby pet, and a lobby avatar. And all of the pre-orders starting on February 19th. So, one day, not one day. If not literally next week, like the weekend of next week. Now, I'm going to heavily tell you, please do not pre-order shit. Please do not pre-order shit. Please do not pre-order shit. Because the fine print in the bottom left corner clearly states you need an account and an internet connection in order to redeem the character costumes. And those character costumes are not going to be available until August 5th, 2027. And you're going to have to progress in order to get the costume unlocks. So please do not pre-order the Ultimate Edition for Tokon Fighting Souls. Buy the game, by all means, if you want to. But do not pre-order the Ultimate Edition. Wait till the physical edition's all the way out. Yes, Howard the Duck is literally a Marvel franchise piece. This has been a joke for about 4 years and a half. Because Howard the Duck and the Kat Dennings character had a child, and it was in What If, and it was called Birdie. It's very stupid. It's very dumb. Howard the Duck is also technically a franchise piece. He was first shown as a Easter egg after, I think, Guardians of the Galaxy was done. And then it was just like, whatever the fuck. Why is he here? Memes. That's my best answer I can give you. Memes. But anyways. That's the event. Those are my opinions. That's my worldview. Therefore is my takes. So forth is the content. Alright? Alright. Cool. Based. Done. I need to go make dinner now. And present dinner. And serve dinner. I will be around. If I go back live, I will either be talking about and or playing Helldivers. I will either be playing ranked inside of Eternal Return, or I will be live on X reviewing and reacting to whatever television show and movie I was planning on reacting to. Unless Jay has something planned for me. I don't think she does. But anyways. I am thoroughly, uneventfully disappointed in the things that were here, and half expectant of the things that I actually like. Many such cases. Alright, guys. I'm going to see you all Monday. New stuff, new content. We'll be continuing the material that was being covered here that day. Versus chats are going to be happening this week. Probably planned on Saturday and Sunday night. I don't see a reason why they need to be on those nights, because since we're going to be having those things, unless I plan one of them for Wednesday night, and then I have movie night, or rather, I post the movies earlier in like the midday, and then the event happens later at night, it'll be whatever. But I will see you all same Carl time, same Carl channel. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.